Hello and welcome to this product domain session as part of the buildingSMART International Summit here in Berlin 2025. Thank you for joining us today. My name is John Proctor and I will be your moderator. Details of today's session are on the screen. We will be hearing from Hansueli, Magda and Arta from the product domain on digital product passports, demonstrating product data exchange for digital product passports in BIM. The session is scheduled to last for 90 minutes, including time for questions. It is being recorded and will be made available in the replay section as soon as possible. Before I hand over to Hansueli, I'd like to remind you that this is a hybrid event. If you're online, your microphones will remain muted. If you wish to make a comment or ask a question, please use the chat box and I will prompt you to do so. For everyone in the room, thank you for joining us today. It's good to see so many of you. If you wish to make a comment, please raise your hand and we have roving microphones. I'd also like to bring to your attention the information on the screen now, that buildingSMART is committed to ensuring that participation in the development of standards is unrestricted and the process for their adoption is transparent, and that standards that are developed do not favour any particular provider but are open, non-binding and accessible to all. Please take note of our antitrust code of conduct. With that, I'm going to pass to Hansueli.
Thank you very much, John. Welcome everybody to our second session of the product domain. Yesterday we talked about concepts of sharing product data, which is coming from the European law, but is internationally important. We are here together today with Magda Pyszkowski, Artur Tomczak, also Anna Merkler and Peter Fokun from the product domain, and they will joining us later also for the discussion. The agenda, we start with the white paper I mentioned already yesterday. We make beautiful flow charts. And yesterday was also a question, is it really possible to do it? And now today we want to prove that it's actually feasible with Artur as someone who knows how to code the things, and also a friend from Switzerland who provided me a video we will show later on. Also to prove that it will work, for that, we have then the second part, which Magda will present. We try to do it from scratch, doing a data dictionary of different harmonized construction product standards, put it in the BSDD, match it with the existing product data sheet, and then bring it into the building model. So I will start. My name is Hansueli Schmid. I'm from the Swiss Wood Federation. I work also in the European Wood Federation, and I work for the Swiss chapter of buildingSMART International, and I'm here in the product domain. So in Switzerland, we worked on different white paper. This is the third one, which is about integration of EPD in the digital product passport. Certainly the new topic now, it is a lot of different data. It's actually matrix data, which we have to include in the building model. So that's obviously only feasible with digital solution in the future to quickly change products and then make quick calculations and optimization circles. This is under review, so if someone is interested, I think he can receive the draft and give comments if he likes to, or she. This is this wonderful flow chart, and I would like to show you now the different aspects of this concept we developed. First of all, we have the standards. So it is important that our work is based on standards, that we don't contradict it or invent new things. We're gonna look into the standards. There is where the industry and technical experts broadly discussed the topic. They define the properties and how properties are measured. Once we have the standard, they can be translated into a machine-readable language. We have already such a translation done by ISO 22057 describes in the standard how the properties and life cycle stages are described in a machine-readable way so that we are all on the same page with sharing such data. But also we have this harmonized construction product standards, at least in Europe, we can rely on if we describe a product like insulation, pipes. We have also collaboration with the company who is producing pipes, and wood from my side. Then we put it on the buildingSMART data dictionary, and we can select the properties and make product data templates. Here we found out it's important to separate the templates for environmental. As I said, there is an international ISO, which is valid for all the products, and then the technical stuff, which is then specific to each construction product. Going a step further, we put in an intermediate level of generic product information. That's our vision we developed in the last days, that it would be helpful to have a first set of product information, which is not specific but generic. We could use it in early planning stage to design. That's in any way important to have. And like that, we could already give this to the service provider or the software vendors to develop algorithms to make it the data flow into the building model. And then later on, we will receive from the industry the specific digital product passports, which includes their specific information. And then the competition will begin to have a better EPD. So it is without pushing, it's then incentive to have differentiate products also in respect to environmental impact. Here we have different kind of products. We have products which are off the shelf. So this is a factory who produces only one product over many years. They do it once, they make one EPD, and the job is done for them. We have other construction products which are made to order. They can vary in different parameters like doors or, there are more and more products which are made to order. So there we have to calculate for each item, and there we need tools, configurators to easily recalculate new EPDs if a company really wants to have it sharp on the item. That's covered by the regulation in Europe, but we have also a non-regulated area for other materials which are not construction product under the law. But we need it all. We need generic and early planning stage. We need all those products, even if they are not necessarily obliged to deliver this. And then we put it in a collection, or we have it separately as a one digital data set with a separate URI. And then we melt it together with the specific technical information, because many different products could rely to the same EPD. That's why we take it separately to not duplicate the same information. Then transferring those product data sheet into the digital product passport. What's the difference? Here we add an ID, like the GTIN from GS1, which helps us also to track and trace instances of articles in the building. Or we can also create our own ID. That's also open. So there are different possibilities. Because we are reliable for those data. It is also a declaration of performance. It is somehow envisaged to have a registry where all those digital products will be stored, even if the company goes bankrupt. The goal is that after many years, 60 or 100 years, 50 years, if you take out the product, that you still can scan the code, and you will receive all the information about this product, how it could be maintained, and so on. And then is the transfer to our planning building model. That's what we show today, how now we can transfer structured data in a database into the IFC with an API connection, JSON LD, for example, I heard it's also possible. How we can assessment of functional units, and then for the whole building, and to repeat it until we have found the optimal design. Yes, and that's how this complex overview gets understandable and makes sense. And I called it so far bypass. So we can already work with generic data, and that could be a strategy to really make it happen for the construction industry. So that was the conclusion of this first part of our flowchart of our theoretical exam. Manage EPD separately. EPD are not harmonized in Europe, but they become functionally harmonized to the reference in every harmonized standard, and EPDs are international standard, as we saw with ISO. So this is relevant. And so we can then, or product EPD can refer with an URI with a link into the DPP. That means we have like a cascade of links, related information, and the building model becomes like a browser. So we have links, and it's the things are not all imported in the building model, but the algorithms can then call the APIs and really take the information they need. So that was it from my side, and now it's time for Magda. Thank you very much.
It was for Hansueli or for myself. The bravo. Thank you very much, Hansueli. I think what is important to understand why we talk about EPD, because EPD, like DOP, are the main technical data for each of us from the manufacturing world. So we need to deliver DOP, and we need to deliver EPD, which is now the focus also of many manufacturers, because it was not so maybe structured like this, but we need to have this. So my part, Magda Pyszkowski, Knauf Insulation, part of the buildingSMART International Product Domain Steering Committee, also part of the buildingSMART Poland, and from this year, convener of the Digital Construction Task Group with Construction Product Europe. Why I'm saying this? Because for me, it's very important that we connect the dots. And I think this is two words that we should connect the dots, because we, as a manufacturer, we become also the partner in whole digitalization process. This is the baseline of the EU Commission. This is what you can see on the website, that the digital technologies, but also the digitalization itself, will create a new business model. And I think this is really important to understand. And with the focus that industry will become more productive, with the focus that people who are working in those industries, we are much more skilled up, and it will support decarbonization. And I think this is one of the topics that we need to somehow address. From the manufacturer perspective, this will be somehow, as an example, will be of this digitalization, which will be the implementation of digital product passport, which somehow will change how we operate, how we provide the data to our customers. But also, I think it will change a little bit of the positioning of manufacturers with whole process. So we will become not only the supplier of the product, of the materials, but we will become somehow partner. Why I'm saying this? Because all of the data about how to design wall is based on the parameters of the products that are inside, and then we do the calculation. And I think thanks to the digitalization, we can somehow take benefits of this. Here is the QR code for you. Just to start, I think you took your coffee, and to help us to maybe to build better our discussion. And I would like to invite you that you scan this code and you open it and you reply to a couple of questions. Can you do this for us? It's really helping us to structure our discussion. And please raise the hand while you are done, so we can continue. And I don't know, in the meantime. You can. So I give you 2 minutes. I think it's enough. You have 5 questions that you answer, and we will have better understanding what we should deliver additionally also to the pilot, but also additionally, as in terms of the communication, in terms of the explanation, what is missing. Everybody get the code? Thank you. And when you are done, you just say yes. Or just raise the hand. We don't have a timer, but 3 minutes already?
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Did we give people 3 minutes? They're going to be asked to
talk.
Sorry?
Anyone got a question?
I think everybody is concentrated on the...
Concentrate.
Yeah. No, it was very easy, I think. I hope it was easy. It's important because we talk about digital product passport and you have this kind of feeling that everybody understands what is it, what is the purpose, etc. And when we discuss after in the coffee machine, corner, it's not always the reality. So that's why we said, okay, maybe there is something to do in this area. I see still everybody is concentrated. Really, thank you very much for this. It's really important. Yes. Thank you. I don't see hands up, so I don't know if it's yes, not yes. Yeah, okay. Yes, thank you. Okay, good. Yes, okay. So let's continue. If you, we can show again the QR code by the end of the presentation. Okay, so still really explain you why we are doing this and why personally I'm really involved with this. This is the construction product regulation process showing what kind, which sectors must provide the digital product passport. We as insulation, we are quite high on the 6th position. I think it was some changes now. Maybe we are on the 8th position, but it's for us, it's like tomorrow or even yesterday, because it's not so easy to provide the digital product passport, as you see, because we need to really structure, clean our data also, to combine the data from the production with the data with from the marketing, to clean, all of discrepancies. So I think it's really important to understand this, why some of the sectors are pushing more than others, because we have also, this regulation and delegated act that will request us to provide digital product passport soon. On the left side, you have the timeline, how it should be delivered. And of course, there is still a lot of discussion. For example, what are the essential characteristics that should be a part of the digital product passport, how to integrate the data from the EPDs that as Hansueli was presented. So it's matter for us because, as we said, we have this CPR construction product regulation updated, validated. Now we are waiting for the delegated acted because it allows us to provide the traceability and product safety. It will be also the possibility to have sustainable decision making and support the circular economy. And of course, it's about transparency of our data, transparency of our product. So it will be easier to choose the right product for the eco-design buildings. So we discussed this last time on the summit in Singapore, and we said, okay, so we should somehow verify what we can do technically, because one of the concept of the construction product regulation is also that we need to comply with the BIM requirement. Okay, so how to comply with the BIM requirement? As manufacturers, we don't have BIM as a part of our activity. We deliver some data, we deliver IFC file or Revit files for the component of the building, but this is not the core of our business, right? So we said, okay, let's do some pilot, and we will present you after on the findings. The sectors which is represented is insulation, pipes, and timber. So Knauf insulation, Wavin, and Lignum. Coordinators ourselves. We did it like we started. It was like a under radar project. We have colleagues from buildingSMART International, so Arthur, but also from GS1, and we have also some consultants to help us to make it visible and support in the development. The project scope is really to provide MVP, but in scope is data modeling, validation, data dictionary, and IFC integration, but out of scope is legal implementation and commercial development. It's really somehow to provide first approach, how we can do this physically, how we can provide some kind of findings, and how buildingSMART activity can support us also in this area. So maybe just that you can understand why it's so important. This is the example from my company. So example, Knauf insulation. So we have a separate website for the DOP today. You need to know the numbers of DOP to find the DOP, which is somehow, we are changing this, but it was working like this. So if you don't have a number DOP, you cannot find a DOP, okay? So this was like this. For the BIM files, we integrated all of the data with something that we call it, with the tool that we call it BIM Factory, which allow us to deliver the files for the whole component of the wall or roof, whatever component of the building, with some predefined filters that you can have U value, R value, etc. And then you can download the model depending on what you are looking for on IFC, Revit, or Archicad. So on native, non-native, industrial foundation classes, and native format. To be honest, for the people who are using this, it's okay, but it's not digitalization. It's just, maybe helping a little bit our customers and ourselves to provide some information. And we want to switch to something much more digitalized. So we said, okay, let's put the targets for this. So we would like to really, with this pilot, structure the data from DPP to be integrated in the openBIM solution. We want to really understand how this enables life cycle-based decision making and how the focus. Just to say you also, we started the discussion really on this pilot like before summertime, so we have like a summertime to prepare everything. So it was working, and it was really, as we said, our personal involvement to make it happen. So we said in terms of the data flow, we see this like today our understanding, and it was a discussion. Do we see this from the manufacturer point of view or from the design construction? So we are not sure still about what should be first, data dictionary, which contains property definition, or template, which specify property list to be declared. So this is what we discussed yesterday. I put it in this way. It was 2 against 1. So, okay, we started with this. Maybe we'll review this data flow process. Then manufacturer will prepare product data, property values, and data will be validated and published with a unique URI and GTIN. I think this is for us very important. And then by the end, it was really to provide some benefits for the designers and contractors to embed this data in the IFC model and in the future asset manager to access DPP via BIM product codes. And I think this 6.6, sorry, it will be later, it will be very important also for us. So in terms of the deliverables, we said that we want to work really on the data dictionary, product data template, have a demonstration IFC model, provide use cases, mapping, BIM versus data needs, documentation methodology, and some mock-up digital product passport. We are not here yet, but this is how the pilot is developed. And I think we are somehow maybe like 30% of the advancement, let's say 30, 40%. Yeah, this is how we see, as we see today. And you have the standards and tools that we have used so far till today. Oh, it's not the best picture, but just to say that also is very important, and it was this 6 point on the flow, data flow, that for us as a manufacturer is how we deliver the data in the digital world, but how we also, our product can be tracked during whole life cycle. So that's why the integration also of the barcode for the specific identification must be somehow connected. So we need to connect physical and digital world by the end of whole process. So we identify a couple of challenges and risks. So data harmonization, we discussed this yesterday, across sector, technical connectivity of product data to IFC, that was one of the pain point, let's say, lack of agreed minimum data set, and there is people who are working on this, and the official data structure and dictionary definition for DPP. This is what we miss today. And now I think it's the time to show you how it works in practice. Thank you very much.
Yes, so as I explained before, the journey starts with creating a data dictionary. That's the prerequisite to create the digital product passport. We need to know what properties we are going to describe and communicate. And as I'm not very good in this JSON format, we have the support from buildingSMART with this Excel file. And yeah, I tried to do it by myself, and then I need some little help by Arthur. So this is this Excel. You have these folders, and you go through step by step. First, you describe what it is. So in this case, it was the dictionary for thermal insulation. And then first, we wanted only to have the rock wool from Knauf insulation, but then we decided glass wool, rock mineral wool. Okay, we can see how it's described in the standards. So yeah, we try to have the bunch of products who have shared similar properties. Makes sense to not pick up later on additional ones. And then we selected the properties with the units. Yeah, so this is then really the full picture, and then so this is then the different standards share some properties they have only for themselves, and that's how actually then we describe also the class property relation. So the classes are the different materials based on harmonized standards, and then that is the relation we have to do here. The allowed value, which is actually the drop down, which we see later on, is often we have a good selection of classes or values which are allowed, and you should not write something else. Or yeah, so it's really good to prepare a dictionary like that. And now we start with the demonstration how to merge existing product data with this data dictionary and put it into the building model. Arthur, it's your turn.
Thank you, Hansueli. And I'm really proud that Hansueli did all of this demonstration how to upload to BSDD, because I did it a few times, but people don't trust me. So it's good to hear from the actual users that it's fairly simple. I only had a bit with some small issues, but you did all of it yourself, and I will just present the results from it. But yeah, congrats, Hansueli. But together with Hansueli and Alexandra from Wavin, and with help of from Knauf Installation as well, we published 3 data dictionaries, mainly as a demonstration to show how it works. But we didn't invent the definitions. We didn't come up with new properties. We basically use the properties that are already standardized and put them in the form of a data dictionary to support users in fulfilling those requirements. So we have those 3 data dictionaries. I will not show it live, but I have some screenshots from the BSDD. You can find all of this publicly available if you go to the BSDD search page. First is the data dictionary for products made of wood. This has been done, I think, 2 years ago already, by Hansueli, and it contains 14 different materials related to wood products, with definitions, with properties that they need to fulfill. For example, when I go to one of them, I can see that structural timber with rectangular cross-section requires 78 different properties to describe the environmental, the structural performance, and so on. And many of those properties are not unique to products made of wood. They are actually shared among different data dictionaries, among different products. So in this case, we can see that the structural timber with rectangular cross-section is reusing the properties from the dictionary called LCA indicators and modules. So the EPD properties are reused by those products. Another example is the data dictionary for plastic pipes. This one contains 54 properties describing pipes. Many of them are overlapping with, for example, IFC standard, but still they are defined differently, but by standards related to pipes. So we decided to upload them to BSDD and show the overlap as well. So let me just show some of them. In this case, we have 5 groups of those properties. They are categorized based on the standards that they are coming from, such as the dedicated one about fittings and the one about valves and so on. Yeah, a couple of examples include some designations, manufacturer name, pipe type, and so on. And then the last one is the one about thermal insulation products. So the one that Hansueli was demonstrating using the Excel file. You can also find this in BSDD. This one has around 11, it has 11 materials that represent different categories of insulations, such as cork, glass, cellular glass, and so on. And the properties inside are grouped for all of those materials. So for example, the mineral rock wool has different properties that are required than, for example, this cellular glass insulation. But why did we do all of this? To make it easier to apply to actual projects. So what we did then, we modeled this very simple wall. If you're familiar with the buildingSMART technical domain, you probably recognize this is our classic hello wall model. So we demonstrate everything using this one wall. And in this case, we modeled insulation, the timber framing, and the plastic pipe. And we tried to apply those properties from data dictionaries, from the templates, to the model. So right now, I clicked on the insulation, so the green object, and I can see there are the properties coming from the data dictionary, such as the reaction to fire with some values. I can see that it is structured exactly as it was intended by the creators of the data dictionary in the standard. Then when I click on the lintel beam above the window, I can also see the technical properties about wood. There is one caveat that they are described differently. So there are some inconsistencies between, for example, this form and that form. And that's all because the standards are not always aligned. So that's something that we really need to work on together, or we expect that the standardization bodies will harmonize all of those at some point. And the third example is the plastic pipe with properties that are very specific to plastic pipes. And what you don't see here is that all of those properties in the model, if you actually open the IFC file and look for it, they also have the identifiers pointing to the definitions. So right now we are pointing to the BSDD page, but this could as well point to the European Data Dictionary when it becomes publicly available, or it could point to the ISO page with those definitions as well. So we are taking our offline files to the, let's say, linked data world of connected definitions. And now I hand it over to Hansueli to show some automation.
Start and stop. We want to do the video. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just set that up.
Yeah, I have to start and stop, then maybe I have to sit there. Yeah. So, yes, we did a little hackathon. I have a friend in Switzerland. He's very talented in coding. And Louis Trumpler said, okay, I do it. And he had only a few days until today. And so he sent me a video. And I tried to guide you through. Maybe it's too complicated, but I thought, yeah, we have to show it because it was a great work how we did it. There is also a new draft of a standard EN 18222, which describes actually the connection from databases to the IFC. So 18222 is obviously the missing link between structured data and IFC. And he tried really to now pick up our existing product data sheet in PDF, the data dictionary, and this logic of linking. So maybe it works, but then I have to stop it from time to time because it's very quick.
You want to say when and I'll do it?
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, okay. Is it possible to stop it from time to time? Yeah. Can I sit here maybe? Yeah. It's easier. Yeah, it's so yeah, already advanced here. Yeah, we improvise a bit, huh? So yeah, so that's the topic. That is the demo how this IFC can be enhanced with the data we provide with the DPP. So how Magda's information is flowing into the model. Of course, it is the idea is for the whole life cycle. And here you can see the draft, the PR 18222. I myself have to look in, but we already anticipated those works. Now he starts runs the, yeah, that's, yeah. So here we have now these 3 digital product passports, all based on these different materials we saw before. And he will guide us through now how he made this machine readable. We have here otherwise the specific products described with the GTIN serial number or batch number. And Yeah, we can open it. So this is actually the PDF now in a common structure overview. He took over the environmental indicators now only for one section of the life cycle. There will be more modules, but that, yeah, for the example, it's sufficient. We have the codes which are described in the data dictionary. So it's not in the PDF. Sometimes those codes can differ a lot. And our feedback to the standardization was also to standardize those codes, because sometimes from country to country or language to language, this can also differ. But at least we have now a common coding logic, and we can still go back to the document, to the original, to double check if it's true. So at the end, I think it's still more trustworthy to double check things in a PDF if you start to do things like that. We have the DOP also from Knauf Insulation here. We can double check, yeah, okay, this was correct. So, and the same happened with the glue lamp of wood. Yeah, maybe what's missing, he could add maybe some links here back to the BSDD, so we can see really the description which is done. But yeah, that's a minor update we could do. And then at the end, the pipes in the same manner. So we see everything flows in a common structure, and now it's the job to exchange those data to enhance our BIM model with those data. And as we saw, people think already about it, to standardize such connections with APIs so that our building model can call URIs. I don't understand what this is. But
Can you explain that bit?
No, it's really, yeah, I cannot do. It's code, yeah, it's code. And at the end, the code looks like that. And yeah, that's actually what then Arthur, we are now ending where Arthur started. We have then the imported properties, GS1 ID, also a big ally in supporting this topic, and then the EPD data. And what we also want to have, we want to cover the DOP topic. As Magda said, we don't want to have it as a separate sheet. We could also include all together, and at the end, this gets more efficient for manufacturers. Imagine also the whole chain with the traders and so on. It will simplify a lot over the whole value chain. But manufacturers have to invest a bit more in preparing the data. They become now here really a part of the planning, as it should be already many years ago. And we have also those links here in the model. So the future looks nice. I hope we will continue this way. The fact that he was able to do this in several days shows that it's possible. We have to deliver our knowledge from different industry to this data dictionary. The industry has to deliver the values, and then algorithms can do a lot of things with all that information. And I think that was the missing part so far. In all the discussions we had today, it ended always at the source of information, which was not structured in a proper way. So I think I can move forward here. And yeah, maybe we have some time to discuss and for questions. Arthur, you continue, of course. Yeah, it's not finished, because we see now how the future would look like. Huh?
Yes, thank you. Actually, can we replay the video? I just wanted to refer to one point in it. Okay. if you still remember the video, I can just talk about it. So at the end of the video, there was a screenshot from the interface showing the wall, the properties, but also the documents. And the documents were not embedded in the IFC. They were referenced as links, but this software was showing them like in the interface, which is really nice. But sadly, most of the tools that integrate with IFC, they don't show those document references. That's why we still have the tendency to copy paste the data from the manufacturer's website to the model because we want to archive this data for the handover, for example. And this is a common practice. So we often, we struggle between how much should we copy paste to the model, how much should be just referenced to the original data source. We can skip the video. We can go back to the slides. Yes. So this is an issue of today, but hopefully, no, please, the slideshow.
The slideshow?
Yes.
Yeah, that is the slideshow.
Yeah, but play the slides. Okay, yeah, never mind. But we are trying to improve IFC, so we are still discussing what the next generation of IFC should do. What are the needs of the market that we need to address? Right now, together with the product domain, we did the demonstration using IFC 4.3, so the latest IFC standard. But we also tried to demonstrate what are the differences between IFC 4.3 and the next generation of IFC that we are working on, to show that there are some differences. Yeah. It's dead. Is it coming from this one or that one? So, it will be, yeah, it is. So the first thing I want to start with, that majority of the use cases will not change. So for example, when we look at the geometry, it will be exactly the same. Like, we are not changing, revolutionizing that much. But the data, the information inside will also be preserved. So we are not taking away anything. We are not, we will still have the same data in IFC, but from the technological perspective, some of the things will be improved, will be different. If you open the file, it will look different. Right now, we are still discussing how it will actually look like, but I took an example. It's not the same data. It's just to demonstrate that how the data will be serialized will be a bit different. How the geometry will be assigned to objects, how materials will be assigned to objects will be a bit different, but the information part, the semantics will still be preserved. And this new IFC, what we right now call IFC 5 Alpha, or the next generation IFC, is quite similar to how DPP standards already described that DPP should look like. So we are already considering, would it be possible to embed either the DPP data in IFC or make references so that the software could pull the information from the DPP registry directly, so we don't need to copy paste the data. But from my perspective, the very important distinction from IFC that we know today and the one we are working on would be that we will preserve the authorship of the data, and it will be possible to always trace back who came up with this value. Does it come from the manufacturer? Does it come from the architect? Was it changed in the process? We can also see the definitions. Where are they coming from? Are they coming from GS1, buildingSMART, maybe from the European Union, so that we provide more transparency in the process. And some of other changes will be that we will try to make the implementation much easier and faster compared to what we know so far. And one of the ways to do that would be to also split the IFC into more parts. Right now we have one ISO part of IFC, which is, it has advantages, but it's making the whole standardization process a lot more difficult because IFC of today is very big. So we try to split it into smaller parts so that we can have a separate part about the semantics of pipes. We could have a separate part about how do you define a texture and attach it to geometry, so that those things are not all in one part. And but this is still, let's say, within the safe harbor. We don't know exactly what will IFC 5 contain because it's still work in progress, and we are still collecting feedback from users. So if you have some ideas, some needs that are not yet considered, I think we can also discuss it during today's meeting. And I will hand over to Magda, who has Magda or Hansueli, some concluding remarks.
Yeah, thank you, Hansueli. Thank you, Arthur. And I think it was really important that we also explore what is ongoing in buildingSMART in terms of the IFC5. You remember we have this last point, transparency, and I think also the ownership of the data, but especially, for our customers, because when you have a greenfield project and the installation was changed by somebody in the process, and then we have fire and people die, this is the responsibility. And I think this kind of technology, IFC5, will allow to have the people responsible, for the design and for the construction. And I think this is something that, as a BIM audience, you should be also very much, concerned. So I'm really happy that we are exploring also this ongoing activity, which is great. So our conclusion. So as you see, we are still on our learning path, how to manage, but we do some steps. But I consider that for 2 months that we started just discussed before summer, and we have something to show you. It's already a big success, and thank you very much for all of the colleagues who work on this. We really learn how to understand how to fill in the BSDD template the product data. We needed a lot of coach from Arthur, so it was really. Thank you very much, and a lot of support from Hansueli to do this, pilot. But it was not easy for manufacturer, to understand how we can use BSDD. So we think that there is some kind of needs for the manufacturer to have some more, help in terms of the tutorials, how we can manage this, because as I'm saying, this is not the core of the business. It's a challenge to combine the different standards for the same product family because we have this overlapping properties, as we said. And the usability depends also on the software implementation. So there is a lot of points. I think this is like a first list of the conclusion that we see. We are happy also to discuss with all of the person who are somehow want to help, maybe bring expertise and your knowledge or your needs to make this pilot version 2.0, if we can say. So thank you very much to all of you, and thank you to the team. Of course, all of the questions, we have our experts, so please feel free.
So if there are questions, I can give you the microphone. So.
Any question? Any comment? It could be a comment also. How do you see this? Because for us, it's also important to get your feedback.
Thank you. It regards the validity of the EPD data. No? So as far as I know, I also looked up to Google to be sure not to make a bad impression. The validity of EPD is 5 years. So we expect also that in the digital product passport, there should be a reference to the date of validity of the data that may change, right? And so first point is maybe this can be the first question. And then generally also how this needs to be connected to the digital product, so to the BIM data. So I see also a back and forth needed in terms of updating the model, or I see the risk that someone could use an old model with all the reference and all the EPDs and.
I think there is ongoing work on the EPDs level with the organization, because I know that my colleagues from sustainability, they are quite involved, and this data validation is one of the points to be discussed. I have no answer to reply. And for the integration, maybe you want to say something?
Yeah, I think there are property sets which helps us to describe a EPD, not only the values, but also the validity. And then we have ideas, and we can check maybe with tools like that if those values are according our requirements, if they're still valid or not. And but of course, yeah, the materials which are built they have the old EPDs, and that's why the old EPDs must remain somewhere.
Maybe one point, because in the DDP we will have some data of EPD also. So we should really somehow to check how it's. But I think we take a point as what about this data? We're just noting this. So thank you for the comment. Anyone else? Anyone else? No. No, so we save your time.
Anna, maybe you need to.
Just the ordinary question: version management of the products. On which level and how is that taken into the standard?
Yeah. Maybe no, but I think the versioning we can update data dictionaries, and then we have new links. So maybe you can explain this.
Yeah, well, but data dictionary just contains the definitions, but not the data of the product. So I think this question is more like, how do manufacturers update the product information, right? But like, I know the EPD, on the EPD level, every EPD has let's say a date of expiry. It has to be renewed every few years. But at the moment of the design, construction, and handover, you use the EPD that is up to date, and then in the model you reference to that EPD. So in the future, 20 years later, when somebody opens, they should be able to still trace the data to the point in time when it was still up to date. That's my take.
Yeah, I think there's also from product perspective, or from our perspective, or we have like change periods, and there's a kind of a unique unifier, or where we see, hey, where does product come from, or when it was produced, and so on, and this should be, of course, also be traceable. And I mean, this could also be kind of a property set, and then to prove or that the data are valid, or at one point, or that they are consistent in the other part, or to make it traceable then later on.
Yes, but I think it's a very good point, because now we manage this on the not digital way. So we update our EPDs. So, but I think how we do this in terms of the update, automatic update, then we need to think, and any thoughts on this, you are welcome.
Hi, good morning. My name is Piotr Trusiewicz. I'm from Bimalai, Poland, and basically, yesterday in the morning, unfortunately, in the same time when the product domain session actually took place in here, we also presented kind of idea for workflow with the data in terms of product, the digital product passports, and I believe it might be actually a good idea, and we are more than happy to share our actually findings as well. So we are more than happy to actually join forces with you guys to find actually even more, perhaps. I believe more than better.
This is a Polish connection also, so welcome to the team. Yeah.
Furthermore, regarding Polish connections, my name is Maciej Grochowski. I'm from POR SA company. Yes, so the general contractor. So we are also like pretty much interested how it will evolve, let's say, regarding the full workflow from the from the modeling then to the preparing the bill of quantities, and also regarding the full process, let's say, combined also with generic materials, that we use in the design phase, so that we have a really like one-time data entry from modeling, then to preparing our offer, so to make the cost calculation, and furthermore to the sourcing, for the procurement, so I'm pretty much interested, and I would also, let's say, offering to join forces, regarding to build this process, to combine those generic materials. Then we're finding the specific materials, specific products from available on the market, so that we can easily fit it to our model and then use it within the construction. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And I think this is what we discussed also yesterday on the morning session, that we would like to have this pilot in the real flow. So thank you for this offer. I think this is really great. I'm not so okay. Here and here. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I have a question regarding the video that you showed. So as I saw, Knauf created in BSDD the properties and so on. And then Louis Tümpler, the coding guy, he basically created the complete DPP infrastructure. So he had a database and he had a connection to Bonsai. So because I found this kind of super impressive in such a short time to do, and kind of really establishing a practical connection. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit on the scope of what he did, actually.
Thanks for the question. This part was a bit, the data he used was a bit more than we had in the data dictionary, because the data dictionary just have the standard properties from the ISO standards. What he did is he took the product data from manufacturers, and I know you were in touch with Louis before, so he already had some of it made before in advance, but he prepared this demo in a matter of 1 day or 2. So
really in short time and nights, but he sent me a detailed description of everything. I thought it was not possible to really explain everything he wrote me down, but we will find a way to share it with you. And please contact me.
Thank you very much. And I think there's another question here.
By email, but that's so much.
Hi. I know that there is also a lot of small manufacturers in Europe, like companies up to 10 people. Are they expected to host and maintain their own database for the DPP information that will get connected to the information hub? Or is there a solution planned for the small ones, let's say?
Yeah, that's something we presented yesterday. So the wood industry in Switzerland, we made like... So there's always the way to have service providers who can do it for you. And there are associations, and if the members of the association decide to do a common service, they could do such a platform solution. Then yesterday we showed how you could actually describe a generic material, as we heard before, and then have a line where you specify all the possible variables, and then you click, generate an URI with a QR code, and that's actually a way to create the DPP on the run. And we have to ensure that the laws are not so restrictive that really we have to do EPD for every sawmill and so on. It's really important to have also a realistic way to proceed, but
maybe to reply also more details. So there are 3 scenarios today. So one the data registry that will be provided by European Union, the different hubs and manufacturing information hub that was presented, I don't know on which session, which is one of the concepts to reply, and then that big manufacturer can provide by itself. Today we don't know, and I think today what our group, we are trying to understand how we technically will connect the dots between product data and BIM process, right? But in terms of the deliver, how it will be, I think this is ongoing. For sure, it will be a lot of companies who will deliver. From my point of view as a manufacturer, it must be compliant with the construction product regulation and with the standards from both sides. Because if it's not compliant with the construction product regulation, that manufacturer will not get the CE marking, which will not allow to sell the product on the market. So this is 2 points that we need to consider. I think the issue that we have, that there are standards from both sides, and we need to understand really where is overlapping, and this is different, working, and we have the representative from this side, but somehow, and there is no solution, but we need to prepare ourselves, right? So it's very important that as many of people that can really bring some kind of knowledge or needs on something, participate in this kind of experimentation. I will call it experimentation so far. Okay. Any other comments again or question? Did you reply to our survey, everyone? Because this is really, thank you so much for all of you. Yeah.
Hi, I'm from BIMLI as well, and maybe I want to share some of our observation and problems that we actually encounter, and I'm very interested if you guys encounter them as well. Maybe you have solutions, because we're still thinking about them. Because in constructions, there are materials mass-produced, and in many cases they are produced on demand. For instance, wall cladding, where you can order in different colors or different thickness or whatever. And in those cases, fairly small to mid-sized manufacturers may end up having hundreds, thousands, or millions of products in their offer, because the properties of the products can vary. Like the similar case arise even in mass-produced products. If, for example, someone is producing concrete blockworks in 2 places, and in one place they have electricity from the gas plant, and on the other place they have electricity from the coal plant. In this case, so far they have 1 product. Now they have 2, because they have different environmental data. I wonder how to, because at some point some companies will end up mass producing digital product passports, because especially the ones doing it for demand, they pretty much have to prepare a new passport for new contract, and then they would be obligated to store it for 100 years. That's the issue that we encounter. I wonder if you encountered it, and if you have any answers to that.
I think there is a work to be done on the manufacturer's level, and this is what we are doing, for example, to understand in terms of the SKU per product, where we are in terms of the performance for each product, and also to optimize the portfolio. And this is one. Then it's like a association of the DPP for the assembly, right? So this is another question. I know that there are ongoing, discussion how to manage this. There is no answer yet. But for sure, from the manufacturer point of view, and this is what we do, we will not have the same product from the different factories with the different performance. It will be not allowed. So we will have DPP for one product with all of the performance is needed, tests are needed, etc. And if you're saying this is from 3 factories in 3 different countries, it must be always the same. If not, it's another product. So it's a huge work, cleaning work, and we are just in phase of the cleaning, which is really great because we learn a lot about internal processes.
Hi, I'm Norbert. I'm also from BIMLI. How Tomasz explained, it's one product can actually have one GS1 code as a getting. While someone is designing, okay, he specify a product. It's Product itself is identical in both factories, of course. So in a project, we have one reference, but then when we gather DPP or EPB, it's like Tomasz mentioned, if one factory provides different EPB to the other because of the source of the energy that is used, then in the end, the final model should be updated with the information where it actually came from. And during the design phase, putting the DPP, putting that data, it's very simple. Like in the example that you showed, that was programmed, I don't know, 1-2 evenings. It's a very simple solution. We made it very similar proof of concept where we show how you can put that data online and through the getting code, just fetch the data from the manufacturer database and load it directly. We even consider to make it open source solution so that everyone could use it on daily work. But the final DPP for the building to have all the declarations, I think it is challenging because someone on the construction actually need to get an information about GLN, so from the location of the factory to have it everything in place. I think that's the challenge. I assume that you don't have an answer for now, and I really wonder how it will be structured in the end.
I can try to give part of the answer. So we are talking mainly about the, let's say, the data structure part, but what you were touching in both of the questions is more about like how the sustainability standards define how do you declare, how do you perform lifecycle assessment and declare in the product declarations. But it's much bigger than even the construction industry. And I know, like for construction products, you have the product category parts of the standard that define how much you can simplify. So for example, window manufacturers, they have thousands of configurations of windows, like when you take into account all of the variables like properties, sizes, and the locations of factories. But you are allowed to make some simplifications, and usually products have like the functional units defined that declare that you make an average of, I don't know, what is the usual, I don't know, A1 global warming potential for 1 square meter of typical window, but it depends. It's basically different for every product. So I know more about the structural products, like for example, steel, which is usually produced in a fixed size, and then you cut it. So depending on how much you cut, you have different global warming potential because you have more or less volume that you will have to recycle. So it's not possible to have like super precise answer always, but manufacturers are allowed to make some assumptions and simplifications as well.
So maybe one point. So I think you also mentioned something, GLN, etc. So we are here in the environment of the supply chain, and I just see Enzo, and I think everything started with the building with the BS, how we call it, digital supply chain in built environment. Enzo Vaino was part of this discussion. So here you have also the fathers of some kind of ideas that I was also involved from the beginning. I think this is a lot of connected topics, and we will not resolve with this. This is what we are saying, that as a manufacturer, I need to provide the data which is compliant with CPR, which is compliant with BIM standard, with IFC, what I do. If one day they say, okay, you need to do. So this is our pilot. Then we build up on this pilot like layers, right? And then this is, thank you for this, proposal to work on the process. Then we'll discover, other topics. Just for information, in our pilot, we have also a representative of GS1. So she's with us. We have, I think, 2 persons already. So we are, we are somehow on the way, but we are just on the beginning. So I think we need to be somehow also very pragmatic, realistic, do step by step. Isolation is one of the first sector to be touched by DPP. So we need to have some kind of response, which will be not perfect. And we need to acknowledge this. It's like with BIM. It's still, that's why we are sitting here.
Okay, it is very interesting, but what I don't know if you have an answer of if there is somebody that is thinking. Because speaking about windows, I live in Italy, and we have really a lot of craftsmen that make windows. And we need them because there is the refurbishment of very old buildings, so cannot be a standard window. So there is a way that we could help, or at least address these craft people to be compliant to BPPD in a very simple way.
Yeah, but we know about this. I think maybe we start with the easiest ones, with the big company, because we have resources and we can work on this, and based on this, then we can go to the small. Sorry.
We have in Switzerland also the Joiner Association has licenses, for example, for door, and every small business can do it. So also there, the association, now with Peter, we created a configurator that all small businesses can configure the door and create a digital product passport. So this is, I think the associations could do a lot of such platform solution, and also give visibility to the small players. I mean, that could be a big chance for the small businesses, decentralized production, to make aware that actually I can local source some construction products and I don't have to buy it elsewhere. Like Uber, I can start tomorrow my business with Uber because I have this application. So I think there are also opportunities to be visible and show your innovation also as a small business. And
I really like the question because you said about the local craftsmen that do unique products to fit, for example, a renovated house. My interest is also in reusing building products, and when you reuse old products, often they don't have a CE mark, they don't have certificate to allow to be used again. And I did talk with many people who are experts in this in Norway, where they often had to legally apply for exemption from the official rules to be allowed to use this old product, even though it was good quality, it was in very good condition. It had it would reduce the environmental impact of the building a lot, but it takes a lot of effort. But after many of them had to go through the same process, they came up with a standard that allows to reuse, for example, the concrete hollow slab cores, hollow concrete slab core slabs, and this makes it easier for others to repeat this. So it will come with some difficulties at the beginning, but hopefully there will be some exemptions for, I don't know, local manufacturers.
And maybe just one comment, just listening to everything. So so Construction Product Europe, who deliver construction product regulation, we also started this discussion. That's why we have this digital construction task group, right? And this is the place that associations are invited to be part of this. And now, for example, myself from the installations, I'm also in the installation association. It's called European EURIMA. And we now also started to structure what we can do as an installation. So I think this is also somehow of homework to be done by those associations to be part of this. For sure, it's not easy. For sure, we somehow have this maybe, I don't know, for me, it's like somehow to talk about this and make people responsible also, that they need to take action. Because you cannot do for everybody. You will do where you have your business and you work for somebody, but this is the somehow responsibility on each of us because it's a law, right? So.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I have one comment, especially for you guys. So I have this feeling that manufacturers are really afraid that it will be a million times more complicated for them to comply with what's required. And you have to understand that we are doing everything manually now. So you're doing manually, you are creating PDFs like Declaration of Conformity, and we are all now creating manually like EPDs and all these databases and everything. But if it's digitized, it can be automated. So I can imagine that if you have 2 products in 5 different factories, you'll just like that in the future create 5 different DPPs, and you will not really think about it, because this is just the beginning, and we have to first have the way how to do it the old way, the manual way, and then we can start saying, okay, this has been done, and we can copy this, and we can automate that, and go step by step. It will take time, and but I'm convinced personally that this is the only way to have comparable products in the future. So otherwise it won't work, and the concept won't work. So yeah, this is like first like example how things could work for the designers and for the BIM model. But don't be afraid. It's just it has to be done like this, step by step.
And just maybe also to on the comments of your comments about this tracking of the product. I remember that we have discussion in the digital supply chain in built environment. Just memory come back, and it was the example from Sweden. Our colleague from Sweden who show how the process from design construction and how the process of manufacturing is working, and where we should apply the unique identifiers on each what is needed. So there is already some good examples, some best practices, and in the that we can reuse, and I think this is one of the point. And as I said, for this pilot, we have a list of our wish to Père Noël is, as we say, San Nicola in English, and we'll go step by step with the different question. But for the moment, really what we want to make understand from both sides that this is needed, this connection to be done, and we need to understand how we can do this in somehow simplified way.
This is ongoing work, by the way, from as well. Okay. We have not stopped there.
Okay.
Let's talk.
Good.
Thanks very much. I think we bring the session to an end. Let's thank Hansueli, Magda, and Arta for an excellent presentation.